Hey guys, it's Andrew with AndroidCentral.com, and this is the ZTE Nubia 5. It's one of the new flagship unlocked handsets that ZTE is bringing to the US along with the ZTE Grand S, and it's kind of a affordable, I'd say low high end, if that makes any sense. It's not the latest bleeding edge specs, but it's definitely up there, and I say slightly low end because it still has a pretty affordable price unlocked. So what we're looking at on the inside here is a Snapdragon S4 Pro processor at 1.5 gigahertz, 2 gigs of RAM, so not the highest end there. That's kind of last year's specs, but again, this isn't the highest end in terms of price either. On the front, we have a 1080p 5-inch display, an IPS panel, and it's actually really nice. It has some good color reproduction, good viewing angles. It may not come off in the video so great, but it really is a nice display, and that's something that you don't always get here in the somewhat lower end of the spectrum. On the front here, as we can see, well, once they light up, is we have capacitive keys, a home button in the middle, menu on the left, and back on the right. Although you wouldn't know, you kind of just have to tap and find out at first because they're just little dots. And if you'll notice here, the home button lights up when you touch it, so there is a few different modes on that home button. It works as an LED notifier for text messages and emails and things like that. It'll pulse. It'll also pulse different colors and brightnesses when you're charging as well, so it'll pulse while it's charging and then go black when it's fully charged and things like that. So before we jump into the software here, let's go take a tour around the sides. We're looking at a faux metal band around the sides here that kind of curves off into the front as well, and you have plastic power and volume keys on either side as well. Little cutouts in the top for a headphone jack and the SIM card slot. And then on the bottom, just a standard micro USB charger and a microphone hole. On the back, we have this really nice black soft touch material that is quite reminiscent of the 2013 Nexus 7 actually. Also something like the HTC One X. It's very similar like that to that phone. Curved around the sides, relatively flat on the back with a camera pod hanging out of the top. There's a pair of speakers in the bottom as well, stereo speakers, but since they're both on the same side of the phone, I guess doesn't give you too much of a stereo experience. Up top, as I said here, we have the camera pod. It's a 13 megapixel backside illuminated sensor with a LED flash as well. We've been taking a few pictures and they seem to turn out pretty good, but not fantastic. We have to do a little deeper testing into that. As for that SIM slot, it is an unlocked device and it will work with AT&T, T-Mobile, or any virtual network operator that works on those bands, but we're looking at just HSPA 21 in there, no HSPA 42, dual carrier HSPA, or LTE, which has been unfortunate, but again, you take some of the hit when you drop price points a little bit. On the software side, we're looking at a let's see here, pump into the settings. We have a pretty deeply skinned version of Android 4.1, unfortunately. So let's see, you can see we're running on T-Mobile there. So 4.1.2, which is kind of unfortunate given that we're kind of on the eve of 4.4 here, hitting Nexus devices, and then pretty quickly thereafter. Most phones are launching with 4.2 or even 4.3 at this point. Lots of flagship devices getting 4.3 updates, so that's kind of unfortunate, but ZTE is also doing its own customization here in the launcher. You can see on top of what was just seen in the settings, they have two different themes you can go with, a black or a light or a dark theme. So that's kind of your options. We have the dark one here, obviously, which is black and green. Then they also have a kind of white and blue and clear looking one. But the launcher is very reminiscent of something like MIUI, if you've ever used that. Similar to what Huawei is doing, similar to what Oppo is doing. It kind of just throws all of your apps in the home screens. There's no app launcher, and if you'll see, you get some weird boxes around, clear boxes around all the icons, so that all the icons are the same size. It's kind of annoying and something that you're either going to get used to or you're going to switch to another launcher, which is what we've done here as well. We've been using Nova Launcher and the performance seems pretty good. Overall, the software performance doesn't seem fantastic. Snapdragon S4 Pro is a pretty capable processor, but it seems to lag and skip a little bit in the interface and in some apps in a way that other S4 Pro devices like the Nexus 4 just don't. So we'll be putting the Nubia 5 from ZTE through its full review treatment, get some better looks at the camera, at the software, and at the hardware chops as well. And we'll have that full review up on AndroidCentral.com. Thanks for taking a look, guys.